agenda review. Okay.
Yeah.
All set. Approval of minutes. Are there any corrections or omissions that we need to speak to? Make a motion, will you? All right.
Second.
I don't think you can. All right. No.
Yeah, I saw a sample of it.
Okay. Seconded by motion by Walter, seconded by Tim.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Anyone contrary minded?
She was sick.
Schedule update.
She's gonna do the minutes off of the
Okay.
TV. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought I would start by giving you an update of our present enrollment as we speak. We have had a number of students come back from remote learning. As we move into semester 2, that number will increase. Some students are choosing to continue some of the courses they signed up for VLAX, and then they've chosen to come back and take some semester courses that start on Friday. So with that in mind, I now only have 84 students that are out and remote. And I've got 554 students that are in person, which is pretty good. And 26 students that are still on a homeschool status basis. With that in mind, Mr. Price has sent out the scheduling information. Tim, I'm sorry that I got my back towards you.
No, it's okay.
He sent out the scheduling information. Obviously, with the pandemic situation that we are in, we will not be doing the schedule, the step-up night, where the incoming 9th graders have the opportunity to come in and view the building and that piece. I am had a meeting today with my administrators. We are sending out videos that we've made. The students have they've made some outstanding videos through Mrs. McLean's class. In fact, Jonathan was part of that, who's filming now. We are going to send those videos out to the school, and hopefully they will show them to the students. They come in, but they will sign up online with their counselor in the school. They've already done their teacher recommendations, so we will depend on the sending schools to do that. Once we do that, we start our scheduling in-house. Mr. Price will be able to create the schedule for next year's school year. So the big difference obviously is the step-up night obviously will not take place, and we will do that online. And again, I hope that as many people can watch that video. It goes through the entire school with all the subjects in the core, and we're going to piece it together because we did a career tech video too. So hopefully they're working on that as we speak and get that out to students, and they'll have time before February vacation to complete their schedules. And so you don't get the students still have an opportunity when they come back in August and September. They can make any changes necessary to their schedule as they need to fit. But I will need those numbers, so when I sit down with Kyla for the student enrollment, we'll see what next year looks like. In regards to the 84 students that are still out there in remote, again, I would hopefully anticipate with next year, what next year looks like, that I get those students back one way or the other as we move forward. Any questions or concerns regarding the schedule, next year's schedule?
How many of those 84 are seniors?
That's a good question, Peter. 20. 20, and that's a great question because I will anticipate on those students as I monitor their progress. I assume they're going to be graduating with us, and they'll go through the graduation ceremony. And the counselors are following their progress. If they need help in any way as we get closer to the spring, I'm sure they'll be in touch with me. But they'll need the full 24 credits. Excuse me, to graduate and go through our diploma and our ceremony. But right now there's 20. The biggest class, Peter, is 24. I had a lot of freshmen, but they seem to be coming back as we get closer to the spring, and I see where the voids are going to be. There are going to be voids. Okay, some of these kids are not going to be where they're supposed to be credit-wise. Okay, and I've had a long conversation with Kyler on that. It's a lot of the troubles that high schools will be dealing with, because they're not taking the full load that they should be. So that's going to create some scheduling nightmares for us as we go down. I'm hoping to avoid a lot of that with this summer, if I can run some summer programs to get these kids some credit that they missed. So again, that's going to be a work in progress as we work up and I find out what these kids have truly completed. But my 20 seniors, those councils are following them pretty closely.
How are they doing, like in biology and chemistry and physics, or they have to have labs?
The ones that are taking those classes online, they're doing it virtually.
Virtual labs.
They're not as hands-on as ours. Some of them can get very creative, but there are many students that are not taking those courses though. My 9th graders and 10th graders, they're not taking some of those courses, and those obviously are prereqs for us that we need to have. So, but my seniors, a lot of the seniors, they wouldn't be taking, unless they're into AP, biology, that piece. Phil?
What were the numbers of students in person?
In person, total, 554. That is an increase. That's an increase off the top of my head, at least 23, 24 more students. And it increases daily. I get calls all the time from guidance that they want to come back. I'm getting influx of other schools too, kids coming in. I'm checking residencies in that piece too. Yeah, I got 2 new students today.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, from the Interlakes area.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Anything else on that?
Those 2 students actually moved into the...
Yes.
region?
Yep.
We've had a lot of that SAUY, actually, because we're offering in-person learning, is what they've said, so.
Lakes is remote.
They jump in and out of it a lot more than we do, I believe. It's hard to keep up, but I believe they are.
Anything else on scheduling as attendance-wise, it's been normal. The teacher attendance has been outstanding. I will let you know that. They've been great in regards to that, 2, 3, 4, no more than, so we've been able to accommodate anyone that has been out, whatever, on that piece.
Anything else on Mr. Parsons? Is there a need for non-public session?
No.
Okay, our next meeting is February 16th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Joyce, second. Mr. Narrow, all in favor? Aye.
Agenda review and disposition.
Nothing to add or take away.
All right, excellent. The minutes of November 17th, 2020, I would request a modification to them because it says we approved minutes on May 21st, 2019, and that was before I joined the board. I'm assuming it means September 15th, 2020,
You know, Janice.
because that's what the teaching one was.
Janice.
We'll fix that.
Okay. So can I have a motion to accept the adjusted minutes? Moved by Peter, second by Barney, thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. And are there any abstentions? All right, excellent. School calendar 21-22 discussion.
So we have 2 drafts this year, and this came from prior to Mark leaving. I don't know if you remember, Governor Sununu had talked about maybe schools looking at an after Labor Day option or before Labor Day. So we looked at 2 options, and I'm going to have Bruce kind of go over with you the difference in the two and what we're recommending based on our discussions with teachers and just within the administrative team too, and see if you have any questions on that.
Thank you, Kyla. Let's take draft A first. It looks very, very similar to what we are in now. What I've added to the right-hand side, so you know, these are all dates that have been approved by the NHIAA for fall sports for next year. Football always starts earlier than the other sports, and we don't base calendars on any of that piece of that. So football, as you can see, the first day for them to practice is on the 13th. On that Monday, August 16th, all our fall sports have the authority to begin. That's soccer, that's field hockey, cheering, golf. I probably missed something. But they can all begin on the 16th. On the 24, 25, 26, teachers are required, they have 5 in-service days. We've always done 3 in August. The first one on Tuesday would be the day that they would meet with me to go over any kind of changes, scheduling, and all that piece. Wednesday, Kyler, that's the SAU day. We usually host that here. Hopefully we'll be able to get back to our routine. The entire district comes to the school that day and that Wednesday. Kyler opens up and she usually goes till 10 or 11 o'clock. And that's when I will do freshman orientation. I invite the kids in for, the 12 o'clock on. And then that Thursday, contractually, I need to give the teachers 1 full day in their classroom, and that's what that will look like for August. And then we would open school, they would have Friday off, and we would open school on the Monday, the 30th. And as you go through the rest of the calendar, everything else would be the same. They would have 2 4-day weeks, as you can see, in August. They'd have another 4-day week the first week in September. Just the 1 day in October for Columbus Day. Going down to November, we would recommend that we had that half day before, and the teachers really, and the students seem to really enjoy having that full day off. So we're going to continue with that, giving them the 24th, not as a half day, as a full day in November. And that would be the same for the day in December before Christmas Eve. We were always in the half day. We would stay with the full day for the 23rd. January, I would propose that we put an in-service day on the 21st. That would end, that ends the semester class and semester 1 on that 20th before. We would have work, obviously, for the teachers. They could get prepared for the semester 2 classes. That's another perk that the teachers seem to enjoy as we go over. And we would have scheduling issues and situations where we'd have to resolve on that day. That would be their 4th in-service day. February remains the same. Keeping in mind we stayed that last week off of Massachusetts. March the same with April. We stay off the spring recess from the Mass people. 21 days in May, and graduation would allow us to do on June 4th. Kids would, seniors would graduate like they always do, the first Saturday in June. June 14th would be the last student day, and the last teacher in-service day for their 5th would be June 15th. That is starting 2 days or 3 days before Labor Day. That's draft A. Draft B, as Kyla said, proposing starting after Labor Day. We would still propose the 3 in-service days, the 24, 25, 26. Everybody would be off. Now, the fall sports and all that stays the same. That does not change. Yes?
On draft B, I count 21 days in September and you have 18.
Yes, because you got to take off. We're not going to school September 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
School would not start, Peter, until September 7th.
Okay.
Okay? So, on draft B, going back to draft B, as I said, Kids would still, all the fall sports kids would be in school, and the first day that they would come back for academic classes would be September 7th. That's why it goes from 21 to 18. That pushes, everything else would remain the same. Same full day in November 24th, same full day December 23rd. But to meet the standards from the state, you can see, go back to June, that pushes the last day for students, for juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, June 20th. The last fifth day for teachers would be the 21st, and graduation would have to be on the second Saturday in June on the 11th. I sat, both Kyler and I sat with the union. We shared with them both copies, and they were recommending draft A to us on that piece. One of the concerns that I would have, obviously draft B, is I've got a lot of students that are in school practicing. Games start the 27th of August, and I would not have seen any of them because we wouldn't start if we went with after Labor Day, because I wouldn't see these kids till the 7th of September. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Did we survey or send out a survey at some point, or did we just talk about doing that when one of us was here with the parents? Remember we had there was a meeting and we talked about maybe we should get some input from the community. Did we get any input from the community?
I've never.
We did a few years back.
Yes.
We had business owners come
It
and,
was just because this is only my third year, so it must have been 2 years
yeah,
ago.
that might have been before your time.
Oh, no, I remember that, yeah, one of the big meetings, yeah, it was only my third year. So.
Okay. I feel like it was a while
But
back.
I don't know if there was a survey for that.
No, we've never done a survey, but as Lisa said, we have had input from businesses, not only within the district, but outside the district,
Right.
always coming, and they have come down to you guys and told them their concerns about starting after Labor Day. You know.
Do you hear your parents input though today?
I've never, I've never received, other than from the local and outside businesses, have I received, input on that. I've never sent a survey home asking people. And keep in mind too, there are many schools that Kyler can speak to, Thornton, the Campton, they all have different schedules. I know there are a couple of schools within that district that start after Labor Day,
The only one right now is Waterville.
and a lot of them others start before.
I have a question. And Bruce, you said it's far better for them to be in the building the end of August than middle to end of June.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just not conducive.
And I don't want to be controversial, whatever, but, come that hot weather, you've all been there in your own high school days, when those seniors get out, it's tough. It really is tough. I get a lot more done academically at the beginning than I do at the end. And that's just the bare facts. I mean, I understand the comments on both sides, but it also gets our kids out in June into these businesses too. So it has its advantages and disadvantages. Again, one of my biggest concerns is having that many kids involved in sports and, not having anything to do with school, because school wouldn't start till the Monday after Labor Day. And we usually have anywhere between at least 285 to 375 students that are involved in fall sports. And the first game would be the 27th of August.
Any other questions for Bruce? Okay, so we will need to have a recommendation going before the full board. Do we bring them both drafts or the recommendation from this board, or this committee?
I would say you bring the recommendation from the committee. I mean,
I would too.
we're recommending draft A with the union. We had looked at 2 weeks before that starting as well, but we decided to just do the week before and the week after Labor Day to make it a little bit easier. And it really comes down to preference, but I think the preferred, there's no hard line rules about anything. But I think just having folks in the building on board to start that works, and the gradual days in, having like the partial week, then we can work out any kinks with the busing and anything like that. It gives us the 4-day weekend of Labor Day gives us time to clean up if
Good
there's
point.
any issues during the first week or anything.
And
Absolutely.
business owners, a 4-day weekend to really.
On the front end and the back end.
Yeah, I still think you probably have a group that are going to want to start after Labor Day, so you should know that piece,
Absolutely.
in case that input comes in.
Good, fine.
Just sort of, if we went with draft B and there were snow days, say there were 6 snow days, would put us at June 29th possibly?
It could possibly do that. My hope is to continue with remote days a couple of times to offset that, to bring a balance to both calendars, so we're not going out 10, because there's been years where we've gone out 10, 11 days,
Yeah.
just with everything. So I'm hoping
Okay.
that it could.
So thoughts and recommendations from the committee?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll
Lisa.
second.
What motion would you like to make before Bonnie seconds?
To move Plan A to the main board for
Okay,
next year's calendar, 2021.
all right, we have a second to that one. Any discussion on draft A? Moving to the full board? Hearing
Thank
none,
you.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Please add this to the agenda for the next meeting.
All right.
Okay, let's see what's next. It looks like the North Wing project sewage pipes.
So we had a quick, it's an exciting topic, right? So
We're riveted.
John has talked to you about this project for the capital improvement plan, and we talked about it through the budget process. It was just something that was removed from draft 1 to draft 2 that we'd be taking care of with most of the surplus from Health Trust that we got the refund from. We just need to formalize that move on the project to do it this year, so I would just recommend that the committee just act on that and recommend that to the full board at our next meeting, or it could be the meeting afterwards.
So moved.
Moved by Peter, do I have a second? Second by Christie, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Can we please add that to the agenda for the next meeting as well? Do we have any reason for non-public?
No.
Our next meeting will be scheduled for February 16th at the same time. And at this point, do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second? Second by any one of those over there. The hands went up so quick I couldn't tell which one was the first one. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Thank you all very much.